What's the most politically correct way to refer to a woman in a rap song? It's not bitch. Maybe it's shoddy.
Maybe it is shoddy.
Yeah.
It could be dame.
Dame?
Could be dame.
That sounds. That doesn't sound like it's because it sounds like, I don't know, it sounds derogatory. It sounds like you're mocking them to their face.
Only because
what are they, a dog?
Only because it's no, that's a Dane.
Oh, I'm thinking of a Great Dane.
I'm thinking of a Dane.
But you're talking about a beautiful Dane.
A beautiful dame. I mean, that's better than because broad is derogatory.
No, I mean that's just that's bottom three.
That's probably one of the worst
in a rap song.
Even
outside of a rap song.
And there's the obvious or hoe or slut or whatever the fuck.
Yeah. Those, I mean, not even besides the fact that they're politically incorrect, but those are just basic. They're boring.
It's boring, but I feel like Dame could have a comeback because to me that sounds quite distinguished. You know what I mean?
It sounds regal.
It does. It sounds very regal.
Yeah.
Or honestly, the opposite extreme of bitch would be maybe saying someone's a queen or a diva. Right? That's really big right now.
Rap songs do love calling women queens,
and I feel like that might be too far.
Yeah,
because it loses its impact if you're if that's the exclusive way that you refer to women. That's some real performative feminism.
Yeah, it's fake. It's those guys who are on TikTok and they're like, "Oh, I'm reading my feminist literature. All you queens, back off. Call them shoddy.
Just be fucking normal. Call them dames."
Well, I still like shoddy. I think it's got a nice little cute
We should make this episode about the most politically correct way to talk about every group of people. And in talking about them, we'll say the least politically correct way.
Yeah.
Can you believe that they call little people?
Whoa, Forrest, you can't say that. Thank goodness someone added a bleep sound after you said that.
I know, right? Well, I mean, okay. Can we talk about little people, though?
What do you want to talk about in regards to them?
I want to talk about Willy Wonka.
Oh.
And his collection.
Okay, well, we could talk about Willy Wonka and his collection, but first, welcome back to the Obligatory Podcast. Wow. Oh man, dude, I don't know why that fucked me up so much.
This is an unusual filming for us.
Yeah, I mean,
must be said.
For the record, no spoilers, but we did just spend the last 3 to 4 hours working on a project.
We were this will probably take we called someone to help. We called one person to help. No one showed up. That's fine.
Yeah. No call. No, they didn't
sorry. No one showed up to the phone.
Yes.
And then we called another person to help, and she was like, "Great, I'll be over in 20." And we were like, "Okay, that's awesome." It should take an hour to an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And then it turned into and it was very fun. Don't get me wrong.
Oh yeah.
But it turned into
it was a 4 hour. Yeah. It was a 4 hour.
4 hour 5-person ordeal, which is very fun.
Yeah,
I wouldn't change it.
No, I mean it was one of the best times that I've had in so far in 2025.
That's definitely one of the ways that me and George enjoy to hang out. Choosing to do some random bullshit and then making other people get involved.
Yeah, I mean I'm sure our fans are very familiar with our series on Instagram where we do a collaborative post and along the way there's a story. I know the first one that we did was me murdering you,
murdering and then throwing up my body, dude. That was a really, really good one.
Yeah,
murdered me, and then we got the picture of you just throwing a trash bag.
Yeah, and then just casually walking away like no one's business.
It's so good.
It's too funny. And then was the next one that we did? Was that the one where we were in?
That was the training one.
Oh
right?
yes.
That ended with me stabbing you, and then with a katana or something.
Yeah, and that one was also
I like that one a lot. Showed a training arc.
Yeah, I mean, it's the first one was funny, but the second one had an actual character arc.
I think we literally storyboarded it. If we could admit how lame we are. we storyboarded our Instagram post.
And then the one after that was the one where we did kiss, and we were having a lover's arc because I remember we were talking. You were like, I feel like we've been fighting too much.
Yeah, we can't keep fighting like this, George. I mean, we have to stay together somehow.
Exactly. We gotta start showing our love to the world. But then of course we have a couple other collaborative posts, but they're not storyboarded.
No, I mean obviously the Mr. Beast one is the most recent one.
Yeah, which is a great
rough
one.
Oh. I mean, rough in concept these days.
Well, I mean, I think the reason why I don't see it as rough is because we did it a day before.
I know, dude. A day. A day before we got that.
We went up to Mr. Beast Burger.
We went to the Mall of America in New Jersey.
The American Dream Mall.
Oh, the American Dream Mall, sorry. In New Jersey. That was a day there was 8 hours of driving that day.
Yeah.
And maybe 5 hours of biggest mall in America.
Yeah.
That mall's fucking insane, by the way.
And well over an hour of being in line for Beast Burger, eating at Beast Burger, and then talking about Beast Burger. Taking pictures at Beast Burger, which is what people saw.
Of course. And then, Instagram. We took pictures in Nickelodeon World.
Yeah.
There was a water park which we weren't able to sneak into, which I still regret. I think we should have been able to sneak in there.
What do you mean? Yeah, it was the DreamWorks.
It was the DreamWorks water, water park, which is inside a mall, which is I'm fucking blown about that. It's insane.
It's capitalism at its finest.
I know. And then you go to the other side of the mall, and it's an indoor skiing slope.
Yeah, oh, dude, what?
Yeah, there's a Ferris wheel.
It was snowboarding.
Yeah,
there was a Ferris wheel right on top. I remember when we were driving to it, it was in the distance, and we saw a Ferris wheel on top, and we were like, okay, this is what we're getting.
We're in the right place, and also mentally prepare yourself, dude. When we walked in there, it felt like a capitalism overload. I was immediately overstimulated in a way that Times Square makes you feel.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you walk in and children are driving around on these motorized not Jeeps, they were animal rides that are motorized, so they're just driving around, and the parents are who fucking knows where.
Embedded with iPads.
They have 3 stories of a candy store, and
yeah, dude,
they have the only Toys R Us left, I think, in America.
The only standalone Toys R Us in America. They have a whole separate, massive wing dedicated to purely designer goods. Yeah. Not to mention the other massive part of the mall, which is just a normal mall on steroids. I mean, me and George grew up going to one of the largest malls in America.
Yeah, but this was
and this fucking blew it out of the water.
Yeah, this made it feel like chump change compared to the American Dream Mall. I mean, there's a whole wonderland. There's an M&M. No, there was an Angry Birds golf, mini golf.
Mini golf, yeah, there was. Oh, dude.
There was a beautiful fake
botanical garden
with
a fountain. Oh, there were multiple water features simply in the mall.
Yeah, that day is one of those things where I'm I can't believe that I did that.
I can't believe that we did that in one 12-hour cycle. And
is my thing. And you know what? I can't believe we did that on a combined 8 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
Because I think I got 2 at least, at least most. Yeah. And I don't know how much you got, but I know you were tired.
It's rare for me to be pushing 6. I would say an average night of sleep for me might be 4. So
it was traveling up to New Jersey, eating one of the only real things that we ate that day was most of the Mr. Beast Burger menu.
Yeah, we ate so much of the Mr. Beast Burger menu. It was all also, I must say, shockingly delicious.
I mean, we want to talk about this more on a later episode, but most of the food there were a couple things that I thought were duds, but yes. The Mr. Beast burger food is not, it's pretty good.
It's good when it's executed properly. Yeah. Is what it seems like. But obviously there were a lot of scandals with the ghost kitchen. Yeah. I mean, did that shut down?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Mr. Beast is suing it themselves, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that was a crazy headline. Mr. Beast suing Mr. Beast Burger.
Yeah. It's because it's defamation on his good Christian name.
It's a big responsibility to be a creator and decide that you're going to feed your fans. Yeah. I've always found it fascinating that so many creators are I'm going to create a food product now. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that was definitely, I don't know who started that trend, but it was definitely when it started popping up, it was
I mean, I will say the recent push of it is obviously Prime.
I mean, yeah, that's
but that wasn't
that's what made it. That's what made it big.
That was not the first.
Oh man, was it? I think it was probably a coffee YouTuber.
Emma Chamberlain.
There you go.
Obviously, with Chamberlain Coffee. Yep. That was, but that makes sense for her. Yeah. Because she does daily vlogs, and in every one of her daily vlogs, she drinks coffee. Yeah. So it makes a lot of logical sense for her to then take the next step and be okay, I'm going to make the coffee because she likes coffee a lot. And from what I understand, her product is very good, albeit pretty expensive. But you know what? A lot of coffee is. But what doesn't make sense is when you have Air Rack coming out with Pizzafy.
Yeah, pizza sauce that turns everything into pizza. Which I have to say, I find it hard to believe.
And I gotta have it.
I've been looking.
You can't buy it unless you buy it in a like way more expensive variety pack that comes with snacks.
No, I wanted a little bit ago to do like a Thanksgiving like video where I reviewed a bunch of like YouTuber food, which was like great. Like I thought of it after we went to Mr. Beast Burger, and I was like, oh, like I've had the Zaxby's meal.
Yep.
I've had all these Feastable products. I've had Prime before.
Yep.
Why don't I just bite the bullet and try like, oh, dude, there's like. Well, like Hot Ones is like technically like a YouTuber product because the show started on YouTube.
But Hot Ones is like also one of the best examples of like a creator. I feel like any creator that actually does food, it makes perfect sense for their merch to be food.
Yes, of course.
It doesn't make perfect sense for Eric, the Mr. Beast clone, who is one of the funniest people to me on the internet because he tried so hard to be friends with Mr. Beast. He tried so hard to be Mr. Beast's guy. And then he got beat out by, like, a fan favorite contestant. Yeah. I would kill myself if I was Eric.
Yeah, and then there's also, like, oh, goodness, there was, like a lot of, like, beer, like, alcohol YouTubers. Or YouTubers, they make a lot of alcohol. I mean, this is like
we got Cold Ones. Yeah. Cold Ones with grog.
With grog.
That's an interesting product, you know, because a lot of their content is drinking. So, you know, but that kind of makes sense. What doesn't make sense is when you have like Pokimane, or was it Valkyrie?
It was Pokimane who made the cookies.
He made cookies.
Yeah, which were super expensive.
Which were, I think they were $7 a pack.
Yeah, well,
which is for a healthy cookie, the health brand cookie. Yeah, which he essentially just white labeled, which I also think is fine. It's like whatever.
Well, I mean, I think the problem was that it was another product just more expensive. Like, not even like.
Well, the problem about it being expensive was that one of her chatters like said something in a donation, and she was like, "Just don't buy it, broke boy."
Which is not the move.
That's not the move. You could say, "Oh yeah, well, you know, it's just expensive to create these things," and like that's much more reasonable to say in a situation rather than, "Well, it's not my fault you're poor."
Yeah, I mean, if I was watching like a YouTuber that I idolize and I like really wanted to try one of their products, and I was like, hey, I have to feed my kids, and I gotta feed myself. Like, can you like do like a discount for like the cookies? And she was like, you broke ass nigga.
And she said those words.
Go work a motherfucking job.
Yep.
I would buy the cookies right then and there.
I'd buy the cookies. Well, I'd be inspired to get a job first. Then I would buy the cookies. I'd imagine I'd lead a lovely life. White picket fences, nuclear family, things of that ilk. And I'd be snacking every day on Mena cookies.
Yeah, and I think the most recent like big YouTuber like food wave is obviously David Dobrik's Pizza.
Dobrik's Pizza
in California. I mean, that's a standalone location. It's not like a ghost kitchen, so it's. How's it going?
Hey.
How's it going? Sorry, fans outside
the window trying to get an autograph. Yeah, come back later.
They're holding up their shoes and their
babies.
Their babies.
I think I might have saw the Pope out there. He said, "I would love if you kissed my baby." I mean, okay.
Yeah, and like that's one that I definitely strive to try at some point, because like what the fuck does David Dobrik, the Tesla guy?
I know. And also it's kind of a double-edged sword, right? Because like you don't really want to go give David Dobrik money, but you do really want to try his pizza that everyone says is awful. I mean, so it's like yin and yang. How do you balance it?
Famously, you and I are famous for going out to try for ourselves to see if something is bad.
I mean, we do it for you.
Yeah.
You, the fan.
We do it for Forrest, after my review of your restaurant came out, you guys were the 4th best restaurant in all of in all of America, right?
All of DC.
All of DC.
Yeah.
All of DC.
Of the DMV area.
Yeah. Hey.
We were on a list. We were number 4.
Yeah.
And then you know what I'll say this week? Very busy.
Yeah.
Very busy ever since George released his review.
You're welcome.
It's been very busy up in the Nugget, of course. And folks, I don't know how to tell you. I don't.
Yeah, I mean, if we tried David Dobrik's Pizza, we made a review on it, like, we could either, like, get people to actually, like, support good local, like, indie pizza restaurants.
Indie pizza like Dobrik's.
Yeah, family-owned black businesses like Dobrik's.
Or minority-owned.
Or we could warn people about, the living plague, which could be
Dobrik's.
Which could be Dobrik's
Because
Pizza.
as far as I'm concerned, we go there we shit our brains out collectively, you and I, like we're on the damn no shame stage. And it'll just be, it's whatever, man.
No, absolutely. I would absolutely love for it. Like, Forrest, this is my dream right now for our Dobrik's experience. We spend hundreds, maybe even thousands of dollars on plane tickets. We eat way too expensive pizza, because come on, it cannot be cheap.
It's in LA, right?
Yeah.
We should just go to LA anyways.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the next step for our podcast.
Yeah, going on tour.
We have a lot of managers who are trying to reach out. Yeah, we should go on tour. That's a good point. We should do an Obligatory Podcast live.
The Obligatory tour, I mean, we had to do it.
We have to do it. It's not our fault. And look, we'll get local theaters. Maybe I'm thinking something will maybe be in like train cars. That way they can't escape. Yeah. And they have to be there to commute.
And, we could hijack like celebrity buses. You know what I mean? Like when celebrities go on, like when smaller celebrities go on tour, they got a bus and they're like driving around. Yep. We could hijack one of those. Like I have friends who are really good at like hot wiring a car. You know, and I'm sure it's the same thing for a bus. We could hot wire like a big time Rush bus. Ooh. Or maybe a Wiggles bus.
Well, what I'm thinking is more of a like captive audience, I guess.
Captive, like they're being held captive.
Whoa.
Is that what you're talking about?
No, just like they can't get out.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, come say, come sa. I mean, both of them are perfectly moral in my eyes. I
don't want to kidnap people per se. I just want them to be in a situation where they wouldn't feel like leaving.
Oh, because they feel like it's obligatory. Yeah. Because of the implication. The implication of leaving our podcast. Yeah. I mean, it just wouldn't be good. I mean, you're out here in the middle of nowhere with nowhere to go.
George, it sounds like you want to hurt these people.
No, it sounds like you want to hurt these people. George, you brought this idea.
No, it's just about the implications of it all.
Wait, hold on. I have to go back to what my ideal scenario for you is.
My bad.
We go to LA. We're on tour. We stop by Dobrik's. We eat the pizza. We shit our brains out.
Shit our brains out on tour, maybe in front of people.
We have to cancel the tour. Because we're shitting so
and our millions
extremely.
of fans are very upset. Our captive fans.
Yeah, our held...
Sorry, not our captivated fans.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, I'm drinking.
It was a slip of the mind.
Yeah, it was a Freudian slip.
But don't worry, they won't be slipping away.
No.
No.
They'll essentially be glued down to their seats. I mean, that's how good our podcast.
They will be glued down to their seats.
So here's my question for you, Forrest.
Maybe I'll solder them to the seats.
Forrest, we are wow. Forrest, we are YouTubers. Like by technicality, we are YouTubers because we upload on
we release content on YouTube.
So like, what do you think our food product would be? Like, what would you want to like? I mean, this is a better question for you because you actually...
It would have to be something that they have to eat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know. So maybe we release like eggs.
Eggs. I heard those were going to be... I heard those were going to be... what do you call this year? The eggs.
Avian flu, definitely a big thing. It's more like the prices are going up for eggs.
But someone predicted that eggs were going to be discontinued this year. So.
Discontinued.
No more eggs forever.
No more eggs, dude. That would crash the world if there were no more eggs. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's definitely going to be a large price rise on eggs, and Republicans are going to say it's patriotic. Yeah, actually, that's one of the things that I didn't put in the 2025 episode because I figured it would be political, and I didn't want to get into politics too much. Yeah, but obviously, this Trump era tariff obsessed guy is into. He's talked about even something as extreme as 100% tariffs, 50% tariffs, 25, this is unheard of. Yeah. And, a lot of people elected him because they thought he would fix the economy.
Yeah, big mistake.
You can think what you want.
Hashtag fell for it again.
Right? But what I'm excited for is for these people to then try and justify it even further and for them to go like, oh yeah, you know what? I don't care that it's more expensive because it's patriotic to pay this much for basic necessities. Yeah. I'm just doing something for the country so that we can build a better one. We can make it great once more.
Ancient Greeks, like, the more taxes you paid, the more respect you had in society. So the more money I spend on my eggs and my bread,
it's functionally taxes.
Yes,
it's functionally taxes.
That's the more respect I get in the eyes of our Lord and Savior, Daddy Trump.
Yes, and you know what? This reminds me of in thousands of years ago in China. There's a rise of something called legalism versus what was traditional known as Confucianism, and a big part of this rise was something called the iron and salt debate. which was basically like salt and iron were something that China was extremely good at producing and ahead of the world in doing. So they would make a lot of their money. A lot of their economy relied on iron and salt. Confucianists would say that, legalists came in and they were like, yo, here's what we do. We want to make more money in the government and for the government to fund a lot of our military operations that we're doing, a lot of our exploration opportunities, venturing into the West, seeing if there's other civilizations that are as advanced as them that they can trade with, stuff like that. So they need a lot of money. They were like, yo, we're just going to raise the prices of salt and iron so much to the average citizen.
Yeah.
That, it funded their economy for a very long time. They, in between leaders, like they would have a legalist and then they had a Confucianist, and it would be like, okay, time for salt to be expensive again. And then in times where they didn't need it, it would not be expensive. But the salt and iron debate was like this emperor who was like 12 or 16 or something like that, which is
prime emperor age.
Fucking insane that was casual. I think he became an emperor when he was 8.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, your dad dies and you're next in line. So it's like, George, what were you up to when you were 8?
What was I up to when I was 8? Yeah. I was fucking losing in Super Smash Brothers Brawl.
Right,
online.
So if you were an emperor when you were 8, what do you think you would do with your kingdom?
Oh, well, I would ban Sonic from Smash
keep
Online
Meta-Knight
forever. Oh, yeah, Meta Knight's fine.
I didn't know that he was good.
No, I didn't know. I thought he was actually pretty bad. I thought Jigglypuff was like the best of the best when I was 8
I thought Pit was really good.
Oh, Pit was pretty good.
I thought Pit was really, really good because his rapid jab covered both sides.
Oh, dude, I remember that. That was awful. Thank God they changed that.
Yeah, and his back air was really strong. So, and his recovery was super easy, and he had 2 shields.
Yeah, so 8-year-old Forrest is banning that guy.
No, I loved Pit. I was a Pit main.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
I was a Pit main, yeah. Well, my friend was a Meta Knight main, and I was like, yo, this character sucks so hard. You suck so hard.
Yeah.
This character will never be close to as good as Pit.
Oops. Whoops, broken character.
I was not watching Mewtwo King VODs at that point.
No, but like, yeah, an 8-year-old as an emperor objectively is a stupid idea. I mean, there had to have been someone else around who was better fit to rule.
Yeah, but they were also, I mean, I'm sure that it was like a puppet scenario. They were also expected to be married at like 12 to 15. Like, things were just different.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. It was a different time.
It was a different time, and it's just a number.
Okay. Here's my suggestion on what we would sell as I don't know if you were finished talking about.
Oh, weird. You don't want to keep talking about how age is a number?
Not really.
Well, I mean, it's just a number, and throughout cultures and time, for some reason, we just think it should get higher and higher.
Much like tariffs.
The liberals want me to wait till they're 30 now.
Yeah, and you know what we should sell to the stupid liberals that are listening to this podcast? What's more obligatory than water?
The obligatory water with our faces on it. Water with our faces on it, George. Yes. George.
Yes.
Do you know the inside of Smart Water? Like how the inside of the wrapping has little shit on it, so when you drink it, you read it?
Yeah.
We put our best quotes on the inside of the wrapping, and then at the bottom of the water bottle, like popsicles, okay? Like popsicles, at the bottom of the water bottle, we put our faces. So when you're drinking, and we make the mouth really wide, so it engulfs your eyes too. So you want the water.
You want to put quotes on the water bottles. Like, would you then want like it quoted you saying that age is just a number, like all over the inside?
Okay, George. George, it's a jug.
Okay.
It's a jug. It's a big jug. It's like 8 feet in diameter. Sorry, 8 inches. 8 inches in diameter.
Jesus.
8 inches in diameter. Look, that's massive. Too big. Some people are saying, and when you drink out of it, it engulfs kind of like your whole face. So you have no chance but to look. Yeah. It's obligatory that you look. And at the bottom of it is our faces, right? And then
Big Obligatory is watching.
Big Obligatory is always watching. And then on the inside of the wrapper, it says age is just a number. And it says your token smile. Things like this.
I think we have much better quotes to put on water bottle wrappers.
Remember that one time that you were like, yeah, I love little people as much as Willy Wonka? We cut that out of this episode earlier. Remember when you were saying that earlier?
Yeah, I did. You've been on some Willy Wonka slavery thing for like a good day now.
I've been thinking about it all day.
What specifically have you been thinking about?
It's fucking freaky, man. He went to a foreign land. He was like, yo, everyone here is small and really good at chocolate. I'm going to take them back with me and make them work hard. Like, what are you doing with the Oompa Loompas in the back, Willy?
They're playing with his Willy. That's what I'm saying. That's what they're doing.
Like, his office, everything has half. So it's implied that he might like, what most people would consider to be half a person. Mm-hmm. Maybe someone a little shorter.
Maybe.
Not that I think that little people are half people.
You're calling them half foots? Is that what you're...
I'm not saying that. But those are awesome people in D&D. I like the half-foot breed in D&D.
I don't want to get too far away from this Willy Wonka slavery.
You can.
But I actually recently played D&D for the very first time.
Oh my god, really?
Technically.
Was it a one-off? One-shot?
It was a one-shot, yeah.
One-shot
so it wasn't
counts.
it does count, but the
best way to start.
The format is like... So basically what it was we had like a performance meeting like at our school, which is basically like every single theater student, like faculty, they come on to like talk about what this next semester is going to hold. Like, like what shows are going to be, for the next semester, and like what is expected of BFA students, like for the assessments and whatnot. And there's this teacher's assistant who's a grad student at VCU. His name is Teddy. He he's starting his college thesis like early. Like it's
a lot to get done.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like a very, very big project. It's like a Theater of the Oppressed style, like bi-weekly show, like every 2 weeks.
Oh, wow.
It's a new show. And basically what it is it's Dungeons and Dragons. Each show is a one-off with dodgeballs.
So it's improv campaign?
Yeah, it's improv campaign. And everyone in the audience, they get dodgeballs that they are allowed to throw at the performers and the like narrator, which is him, whenever they want. And each show is like a different perk. And I went because I've never played D&D before, and I think it's a universal experience for people who have like never been in D&D but have always been like interested in it to like to like have something like almost start right with D&D, and then something happens and then like the whole thing is like kaput,
just derailed.
And it's like you try again and again. Like I have tried again and again to get into like some sort of like tabletop RPG game. Like I remember
it's hard to get because you need multiple, like you need enough people. It's really hard to get a group of like 5-6 people to be somewhere at the same time every time, like once a week. Some people do like once a month.
And like I remember my friend Ian from high school. He bought like this Avatar-based like tabletop
I have
RPG
that.
game. You have that, so you're very familiar with it. We were gonna do like a campaign throughout.
I've never played it. I really want to.
But it's just like it's just so hard to like find time. I mean, you said it best. But I thought this was a great opportunity to like not only get some Dungeons and Dragons like experience, which I've always like. I've always wanted. Also,
you would be like obviously good at. Like, there's some people that you like go through life. For me, at least, I grew up in a D&D household. Okay. So there's like some people I go through life, and I'm like, yeah, this person would be good at D&D. Yeah. And it's just people who are able to like improv essentially, because all D&D is just collaborative storytelling.
Well, I mean, it's you need an active imagination to just like think of weird things to do, especially for what it was an on stage like
absolutely
acted out like
to like, overperform.
To like actually do some of the things that are being like talked about. You need like an active imagination, which I luckily have. And there was an audition process. I got in. I was Lord. How's it going? I was Lord Cowington. I was a Furbolg. Since I've never played D&D before, Teddy like walked me through like the classes and the species and all that, and he was like I talked about like the type of character that I felt I was, which is like a wandering monk who's like has an innate sense of like good and like an unintelligible voice just kind of like speaking to him from like
so like whatever. This like weird schizophrenic guy.
Yes.
All right, sweet.
And we did the show. It was so much fun. I mean, like as much fun as I like see those like college dropout, Brennan Lee Mulligan. Like campaigns are like it's that fun.
It is. No, it is. It like when you have people who are willing to just like. You kind of have to set your shame aside. You have to be willing to put on a voice and say something that's like definitely going to be embarrassing. Like if like remove all the context, like this would be super embarrassing.
Oh yeah.
But if you have enough people in a room all committing to it, it's like seriously so much fun.
Yeah, and it was also just a great opportunity to get another like thing on my resume, because it is a show.
It is a show.
It is a full on like production. Like there were lights, people, and there were like sounds going on. It was just like it was like improv with a goal, which like I really
super
fucked
fun.
with.
Yeah.
And I did it with 2 other people. It was Michael, who played this guy named The Dude. He was a lizard with terrible social skills and like didn't talk very well. And he had this egg that he would routinely either keep in his mouth and like talk with, or put in his like loincloth and like have it just jumbling around. And it's like, it was kind of implied that there was like some secret like demon inside of the egg that like burned the retinas off some guy. But like no one, like we didn't.
You're not gonna get into it.
I mean, it was only 2 hours long. There were a lot of things that like Teddy wanted to get into, but like you just can't.
Yeah, a lot of DMs will kind of like they have a lot of fun creating these whole worlds and stuff, especially for one-offs, and then they actually do it, and they're like, oh, I guess I didn't need to create 12 hours of content for this thing, but you kind of do need to, because you need to be ready for every branching path.
Because what if, and that's basically what he did. I mean, there were a lot of different ways that like we definitely could have gone through, but like we had so much fun like creating like different scenarios. The other guy was Jose, who you actually saw in the flick. He played Sam, the lead guy. Good. Yeah. He played this. He played like a human who was like didn't believe in a god. Like the town that we were in. So Theater of the Oppressed, I don't know if you're familiar. It's like a show that's dedicated to a group of oppressed people who have faced certain tribulations in life. Mm-hmm. And this one was dedicated to anyone whose life has been affected by climate change.
Interesting.
And he tied in like Richmond losing like its water and like forest fires in LA into like the actual story. And,
were you guys set in the modern world?
No, it was still like set in a like a fantasy world, but it was like very
can loop it
like
in.
And the whole thing was just about like doing your part to like help out the world that we live in, because it affects all of us, whether we like it or not, which we don't.
Some people are into it. Some people want to drill baby drill, then they die, and it's like, yo, whatever.
Bruh. And Jose played this guy. This town, they love religion. They don't care what religion. You just have to follow a religion. So you have So you just have some like morality to you.
Right.
But Jose played a character who didn't follow a religion because he didn't feel like a god had his back.
Right.
So he was pretty much like scorned by the entire town, basically. Rare
for a human as well. In D&D, that's not like humans are not normally the guys who deal with that.
No, it was actually a really interesting like character choice, and he actually kind of became like the main character of the story, because he was like the only one who was from that town, and he was like doing what he did to help out like the people who are like lower class, which he is a part of.
Right.
Like it was the upper class people who like led obviously to all this like terrible shit going on.
That doesn't
with, like,
sound
the
very
water.
accurate.
No, I mean
that doesn't sound like real life.
I love my rich people, my billionaires who are all lining up at the inauguration just ready to give them money.
What's nice about them is that they look all hot and sexy together.
That's
true. And it's just, I mean, it's hard to stay mad at someone so beautiful.
That's true. And
look how cool Mark Zuckerberg looks. He looks like he'd really have a successful high school career now if he tried it again, which looks like his goal, to be honest.
I mean, that's they're overcompensating for something. Yeah, and it's definitely for being bullied when they were kids. That's just first guess. I mean, I could keep going on why they do the things they do. But yeah, it was just a fantastic like first D&D experience, and like each one of our characters was like clearly going for something like different. Like Jose was going to like intimidate people, and like I was the charming like character. I actually flirted with
very suave and charming.
Yeah, or I don't want to say he was suave. He was definitely leaning on charming. Suave is not really Lord Cowington's thing.
Do you feel like you were playing a character that was like similar to you? I think when people first play D&D, a lot of the time they choose someone who's like comfortable for them to play. Like when I was first playing D&D, I would like really only play bards.
Yeah,
that would like go around and they're like very charming and like very like flirtatious kind of like people, because I was like, well, I can kind of like be similar to that person in real life, therefore I'm like choosing someone I'm comfortable with. But now when I play D&D, I like
you explore.
I want to choose like weird combinations of people that are like not at all what I'm like.
Yeah, I guess for Lord Cowington, he was definitely very similar in a lot of ways. He was, he was charming, obviously.
Yeah.
And he was kind of the group's moral compass, and he was a little bit of a scaredy cat, but
everyone relies on you to be the moral compass of the group.
But he was definitely a lot more forward than like I have any right to be. Like when it comes to flirting and whatnot, I am I stick in the back. I'm like, you come to me or else this just isn't gonna happen.
Fair enough.
I'm back here. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. But Lord Carrington was like, he ran after the town like secretary and was like, I gotta ask you a few questions. But by the way, did you do something new with your hair? He's never been in this town before. He wouldn't know if she did something with her hair.
Hey, anyway. But she might have.
And I landed a nat 20 on that move, so she was so moist.
She did do something new with her hair.
She did.
And actually, she did something new with a different part of her with hair, and you can check that out too if you liked what's up here.
Yeah, I mean, after the campaign, we defeated the lake monster, who was it was really interesting having like the main monster, like the final boss, be the lake itself. Like the lake was a mimic.
Oh, that's really cool.
The town was like had the best water in the area, but it was actually like
we have the best water. Nobody has water.
It was slowly like poisoning all the townspeople, and
the water does not poison people. It's not what it does. A lot of people are saying
it does not make you gay.
Look, it's very good water. We took all the fluoride out of the water, folks, and
no, I can't.
It's finally good again. Safe to drink.
Yeah, and my character does end up marrying the town secretary. I'm like, because I've been traveling for so long, I'm like, it's about time I finally settle down. And I think one of the most special parts of it to me was me and the social reclusive lizard man with the egg in either his mouth or his ball sack.
And it was beautiful when you actually mouthed the egg yourself.
Well, I did put it in my mouth at one point.
Yeah, and it was beautiful.
The DM told me not to do that, but I did it anyway.
Yeah, you should. Fuck you, DM.
We had a very beautiful like friendship blossoming, and like at one point he got like really soaked and he was cold, so I took off like my giant jacket that I was wearing and I like covered him with it. I was the only one who came in costume, Forrest.
Oh, that's lame.
And I
guess it was the first one.
I mean, he told us we didn't have to, but I was, I don't know. I feel like it's
easier.
It's easier for me to get into character if I'm
I'm the same way.
And like a lot of aspects of the story were like mad-libbed by the audience like right beforehand. So like the town name and like a lot of the basic monster names. My character name, I decided I wanted the audience to name, and that's why I was Lord Carrington. Because I was a furbolg with like cowish like features, so obviously I wore my cow suit.
Obviously.
And they were like, that's Lord Carrington, and I was like,
I mean, that just makes sense.
I mean, come the fuck on.
Of course you are.
Lord's just my first name, by the way. I wasn't a regal character at all.
Oh, no, I mean, obviously. You don't strike me as very regal.
No, I'm
not like dames.
No.
Dames are regal.
No, I'm more of a shoddy.
You're much more... Hey, there's nothing wrong with a shoddy.
And Jose's character was more of a broad. Like
where does shoddy come from?
Where does shoddy come from? Shorty.
See, that feels disrespectful now.
Oh, yeah.
But you know what? For a person like you with your special interests in people who are short, you might like that.
I mean, I've only dated people shorter than me.
I've heard you just keep going shorter and shorter. I heard sometimes you put on a little top hat.
That's not true.
I heard sometimes you put on a little top hat, purple jacket, walk around.
Well, it's really unfortunate. I do own a Willy Wonka.
I know, and and I hear that you have quite the collection in your closet.
Yes, and I am in someone's phone as George (parentheses) Willy Wonka's #1 stan, or Wonka's #1 stan.
Yeah,
I really liked the Wonka
because you really
movie.
fuck with what he, the videos he put up on the internet.
Yeah, I mean, his
2 Oompa Loompas, 1 chocolate river.
His last to take hand off of chocolate boat wins the boat challenge.
Do you think Willy Wonka was the Mr. Beast in his world?
Yes.
Yeah, actually, that's a stupid-ass question.
So that was probably one of the worst questions you've asked on this podcast. Of course he was.
I've never thought of him that way.
I mean, why would you? But, like, you say it and it's like,
yeah. But Willy Wonka, the difference is that Willy Wonka started as the chocolate guy.
Yeah.
Mr. Beast has became the chocolate guy.
No, I imagine after the end of the Willy Wonka, or Charlie and the Chocolate Factory movie, Willy Wonka's like, okay, now it's time to start my... YouTube career, and he started off,
Dude, Mr. Beast probably will do like a Willy Wonka-esque thing whenever he retires.
Well, like just having an empire? Well, when do you think Mr. Beast is going to retire?
I don't know, maybe when he dies. He's actually already talked about how he has videos lined up for when he dies.
Yeah. How's it going?
I forget that they can hear us through the window.
They can absolutely hear us.
Mr. Beast does have videos lined up for when he dies, obviously. But at some point, he'll probably realize that he can't be the face anymore. Probably when he becomes like, I'm going to say like 45. He's going to hold on.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to be like a real like Mark Rober, like super fit old guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mark Rober is super fit.
Oh, yeah.
He did that one video for Team C's, and then he took off his shirt, and everyone was like, holy shit, he has a six-pack. Do you remember that?
No. Sorry.
I do.
I don't really watch Mark Rober. Like, I watched he did the squirrel shit, right?
Yeah, the Squirrel Olympics or whatever.
I watched the
Those
squirrel.
were really cool.
Yeah.
I used to watch a lot of Mark Rober. I used to watch a lot more science YouTube. Then I got dumb, I guess.
Yeah, you have been pretty stupid lately.
Yeah, I am. I don't talk about anything that smart people talk about. Not once.
I don't know. I think he would keep Feastables going at least. Like, he'd keep the channel going.
Well, okay,
and I think alongside it.
That's why YouTubers get these other... We never really finished talking about YouTuber food products, but that's why they expand into the other things. It's like they can expand their like income revenue because none of them really know. They don't know when it's going to end. Mm-hmm. How could they?
Yeah.
So they need to like get themselves ready for it to be, something that happens.
Stripped away from them at a moment's notice.
That's why we're bringing you Obligatory Water.
Yeah.
Come get our jugs.
Yeah.
Our jugs in your face.
And before you ask about the $40 price tag for a simple 16-ounce bottle of water.
No, it's really wide.
First off, it's really fucking wide.
Really wide.
Shut the fuck up. But also, you broke ass nigga. Forrest, you can't say that.
I wasn't planning on it.
You just you're broke.
You're broke.
You don't have to buy it.
Not my fault. You're a broke boy.
But you gotta buy it. It's obligatory.
I mean, you gotta buy it. And look, you're gonna buy it, and I know what you're thinking. I'm just gonna buy it once and fill it up with tap water. And I'm here to say, I'm here to tell you that you can't do that.
Yeah.
Because the reason we chose such a recognizable bottle is that we want to see how many people are buying it, and the best way to do that is to start going through the landfills.
Yeah, and if you don't buy it, we're gonna stop the pod.
We're gonna stop the pod.
I mean, it's like we need to keep the lights on somehow.
Yeah.
I mean,
and every bottle will have different quotes on the inside.
Yes,
some more cancelable than others.
Yeah, I think
you might get like a golden ticket-esque situation.
Ooh,
where
that's a good idea.
The inside of it's cancelable. So you get to be the one who cancels us.
Yes, and we get to invite you to like an official meeting, and then you can.
But here's the trick: you won't know which one of us said the quote. So look, if there's like certain slurs that one of us can't say,
it will frankly be inconclusive.
It will be very inconclusive. So you can't cancel George for saying.
Whoa! You can't. Well, I can't say that.
And look, I'm very excited for this product announcement.
Oh yeah, I mean this has been something in the works for.
We're gonna
now.
follow it up with flour, I think.
Yeah,
that's very obligatory as well.
I mean, I think we just go for all the basics: water, flour. You said eggs. Like eggs would be fantastic. Yeah. Salt, sugar,
and then we'll release pre-mixed like baking kits at some point.
Are you into baking?
Not really. I mean,
it's obligatory.
I bake. I would say I cook, like I'm a professional.
Yeah.
I'm not but I bake like I'm a home baker. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I got you.
I haven't put as much time. I understand like chemically what's going on, so I have the edge there. Mm-hmm. That over like a lot of people who don't really know what's going on.
You can improv it for sure.
No, I can't. I have to follow a recipe. I can make really good baked goods if I follow a recipe. Mm-hmm. I can cook easily without a recipe. Mm. That's kind of like the difference for me. But that's also, I would say that a lot of bakers still follow recipes just because it's more exacting.
There's so much to baking. It's a very from what I understand about it, which is not much. It's a very precise.
And you got to check out the obligatory recipe book that we're going to be releasing that uses only our products. Dude, that's one of my favorite things when you look on the back of Goya brand beans or something.
Yeah.
And the recipe is all Goya products. They're they're not going to tell you to use garlic powder. They're going to tell you to use Goya brand garlic powder. It's
Goya plates, Goya forks and knives, Goya houses. You're living in a Goya house.
Yeah.
Big Goya is watching.
Big Goya's always watching. Dude, that was one of my favorite product placements Trump did when he was president.
Oh, yeah, with the Goya beans on his That was totally not an ad placement.
No, that was actually hype. That was fucking sick. That was called breaking the mold. Someone has to do it at some point. But you'll never find mold in your Goya products. We're here to assure you of that.
That was changing the game in real time.
That was changing the game in real time.
Using Goya beans.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just that's one of the few things where I'm good on you. Good on you, Trump.
I don't know if I say good on you, but I at some point you have to turn around and respect it.
Yeah, I mean, if you can't respect the worst enemy, it's do you even love the game?
Yeah, and I love the game.
Yeah.
I love the game.
I would
put a Goya pie in a Goya elevator with a sign that says, call this number and tell them where you woke up.
Just no. just no. I don't.
And then they use
that.
their Goya phones to call.
I just don't think anyone would do that for it.
No, I don't care. It's like the idea of it being there.
So
the idea of someone walking into an elevator and a pie being there that may or may not be drugged. And you can choose to eat it. It's not like you're being drugged.
It's
not like you're being drugged.
No.
You can choose to eat the pie. It also might not have drugs in it. It just has a sign in it that says, "Tell me where you woke up."
I mean, I think you'll get as much enjoyment out of actually doing it as you do like talking about it right now. Like
Which is a lot of enjoyment.
Yes. So why even take that next step if it's not gonna?
It would be funny. Because what if someone did call me? And I'm not drugging the pie, but like, what if they did call me?
I mean, I just don't think it'd be very fun. I just don't
love the game.
I just don't get this game. This is.
I'm playing checkers. You're playing chess.
Exactly. And it's not.
Wait, no.
Yes, exactly.
No.
Exactly. You stupid idiot. You're playing checkers. No, and I'm playing chess. I'm hitting a checkmate, and you don't even know where the board. You don't even know where your kings are.
You're playing chess. I'm playing 3D dimensional time warp chess.
No, you can't take it. You can't walk it back. You made a stupid idiot mistake.
Oh, dude.
And that's gonna be in the middle of every single bottle of obligatory water.
Oh, whatever, dude. You keep showing me little people porn.
I'm not doing that. Stop claiming that.
Keep doing that. It's weird.
I'm not doing that.
You showed me this new brand. It's called Nugget. I said, George, I don't want to watch.
And I was like, this is just one video for us. You just got to get the gist.
George, I don't want to watch. It's weird. I don't like how they pick them up. I don't like how they dip it in ketchup.
Dip it in ketchup? Ew.
That was in your video, dude.
Well, I thought it was hot a little bit. Giant tub of ketchup and dumping a...
It's interesting how they were actually able to replicate and scale up a McDonald's ketchup thing so far.
Yeah, like the little packet? Or
yeah, I mean, I have to respect... I mean, I was fascinated by the video simply for the engineering capability.
Yeah.
3D printing has gone a really long way.
Yeah, and then eventually you started like just showing me like, hey, I saw this little nugget of a video.
No.
Yes, that's true.
No,
Yes, and this, Forrest. Yes, and this.
No, that's not what happened.
Yes,
okay?
and this, Forrest.
What happened was that I clicked on a suggested one. I didn't show you anything I'd seen before.
No, you sent me a link.
We were exploring together. Shit, man.
I'm not saying...
I sent you a link to my new 3D printer that I'm building a sauce container with.
so that we can do the videos in real life.
No, I think it's like I want to like know the process.
But the question is, which one of us is dunking and which one of us is being dunked into this giant vat of ketchup that you're 3D printing?
Well, neither one of us, because we would need something else to dunk in it. Traditionally, when I go to McDonald's, I dunk my nuggets.
We can dump each other's nuggets. Dunk each other's nuggets. We both got 2 nuggets. We can dunk.
I mean, I know
nuggets.
that you keep a few nuggets in the closet over there with your Willy Wonka cosplay.
That's true. I did put a few chicken nuggets in my room.
Yeah, chicken nuggets. That's what I was talking about.
Oh. Yeah, I did. I do have a collection of nuggets in my closet.
Making chocolate
for me. They're standing in videos.
They have the best chocolate.
They're really good at staying in the circles when I tell them to.
Dude, Mr. Beast, Willy Wonka, if they remade Willy Wonka, like in the modern, like, and they were like, I'm going to make Willy Wonka for the modern age and like retime it, you know what I mean?
It's like the movie?
Yeah.
They would do it like...
Instead of it being like, I don't know, in the 80s or 60s or whenever it was.
It's like modern day.
Modern day, like Slugworth is like a hacker.
Yeah.
And Willy Wonka would have to be an influencer.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think if one of us were to direct this movie, like, we would absolutely make it a commentary on, like, you know, the capitalistic impulses of, like, a small-time YouTuber, like, growing rapidly to hundreds of millions of people around the world, and how that leads to the exploitation of workers and even the people that enjoy the products in the first place. Yeah,
I mean, it's just inherent, right? Like, especially if you're a Willy Wonka-esque figure who's maybe was in the public eye for a long time, and then you actually went away, right? You went away and you kept making your chocolate, but you didn't once meet a fan.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And I actually think even further than that, what could be very interesting is having a person, I won't name names, but I will name the character Jimmy. He's watching the movie, so the movie is fictional.
Maybe Jimmy McDonaldson?
Something along those lines. Yeah. And he's seeing the movie in real life, and he's I'm gonna replicate that, and he ends up making every single mistake that Willy Wonka made. Because
I think Willy Wonka would be the guy. He would be. I think we call him Jimmy Wonka.
Well, I'm just telling you what my vision would be for a Willy Wonka, for a Charlie and the Chocolate Factory remake or adaptation to the modern world.
Well, Jimmy would be Charlie.
Yeah, who grows up being inspired by him and becomes the same beast that Willy Wonka seemingly was.
Although I will say it's actually very inconclusive. Maybe it's in a book somewhere that I don't know about, but it's very inconclusive what Charlie does with the money and empire that he takes on.
I see what you're saying. You're saying that Charlie, Jimmy would be Charlie who wins the factory.
Yes.
Okay, I see now. I see.
What you're trying to do is you're trying to make Jimmy into Wonka.
Yeah.
But Wonka's Wonka.
Yeah.
He's already there. And their stories are inherently very different.
Yeah, but clearly he aspires at least to mimic in a certain way, at least both the Willy Wonka experience and the Squid Games experience.
Charlie just wants, yes, but Charlie in the story just is so impoverished that he just wants a life of comfort.
Yes, which
you could argue is similar to Jimmy in a lot of ways. Mm. This is something, I don't think he was ever necessarily impoverished, but he definitely was not. He said that he was I think low middle class.
Somewhere around there.
Growing up. This theoretical Jimmy, of course.
Yeah.
But I think personally it'd be more interesting if you don't make it if you don't direct it so obviously.
That's fair.
I guess because what's cool about Willy Wonka is that he was very famous, then he stepped away, and then now he's making a great return. Mm. So the way it would look now for me in my head is that he was maybe a TV host or something in the early 2000s or
fair.
90s. Or maybe he made the fucking zoo video.
Interesting.
Or something like that. And he kept making content here and there, but he did never really do much with it. But now he has this big release he's doing. And this big release involves a worldwide campaign to create the biggest YouTube video ever, and this YouTube video, or this biggest YouTube contest ever, and this contest will finally decide who's going to win his channel. Which, if you value top creators' channels, it's in hundreds of millions. Mr. Beast's channel has been evaluated at over $1 billion before.
Oh, well over.
So that kind of thing I think would be more interesting.
So it kind of a little bit sounds like you're trying to mix Charlie and the Chocolate Factory with Joker to create a Mr. Beast inspired story of.
I guess I'm just trying to create a commentary on something using an already set storyline.
Yeah, that's exactly what I mean. Yeah. I think you're taking the set storyline, but kind of turning it into you're taking the character arc of the Joker of starting off as this I guess just idea of becoming better or becoming better than the place that they are in now, because Joker, he wanted to get on the show, the Murray show, I think, and then get his stand-up career going and become rich, and you want Mr. Beast to kind of start off similar, where he's seeing this Willy Wonka kind of figure in his life, and then inspiring to become that, but then becoming more and more and more, and being greedier and greedier and greedier until he eventually reaches his Icarus moment and fucking crashes out in front of everyone after...
Crashes out, and he goes in his space elevator.
Yeah, and putting his, after this confusingly, morally not great, reality game show, which is the biggest thing in, TV history, but also not properly, cared for. The contestants aren't properly, cared for or taken care of, kind of maybe similar to the children in the Chocolate Factory or the Oompa Loompas.
Well, no. The Oompa Loompas are taken very good care of.
That is so objectively wrong.
You have no doubt that Willy Wonka
they chose to get on that boat.
Willy Wonka is paying special attention to the Oompa Loompas.
But I mean, I think that's like the best way to make a commentary on like the idea of Mr. Beast like ripping off these originally like critiques on capitalism, such as Squid Games and such as Willy Wonka, and then turning it into like the natural greed of man, I think. Which I think would be an interesting movie. I think it could be very well done.
What would be most interesting is actually the 5 people that he brings.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because in Willy Wonka, they're all so distinct, right? You have the TV kid.
Yeah.
You have Violet, who loves her gum.
Yeah.
And turns violet, famously.
You have
what's her name? Veronica?
Yeah, Veronica.
Who's the spoiled one. You know, like...
Verusica?
Yeah, I think it is that. And then... Oh, fuck, dude.
There's the
fat boy.
Kid. There's the fat boy who falls in the river.
The little fat boy.
And then there's Charlie.
And Charlie's, like, the one you root for.
Yeah. And who would you think would be like?
I think it'd be cool if you didn't make. I don't know. Well, I think
or like different archetypes. They could just be 5 kids.
I mean, yeah, I think you could keep the archetypes though, right? Like you can keep, just a billionaire's daughter or something like that.
Mm.
You could make. But
I think
TV kid, I think, would turn into like a Fortnite kid.
Well, I think what it would have to be is like different archetypes of like YouTuber fans, which could be very similar to like what is it, the kids in the chocolate factory, but like I think you need to think of like one kid who's like
the fat kid would be he'd be the type who's always in the comment section.
No, well,
because he's consuming it so much.
I think there would have to be at least one kid who's like a Mr. Beast like mega fan, like they know everything about Mr. Beast.
That's the
and
TV
like
kid.
That's the TV kid. There has to be one kid who's like, reacting to like all the things going on in Jimmy's life, like all the controversy specifically regarding like Ava Chris Tyson, and taking it in a completely wrong direction, like completely being like transphobic and like
I mean that's the one who's like the worst, that's like closest to Verusica. Like she's like the worst.
Yeah.
And she's mean the whole time. Like you would think that's that kind of person.
Mm-hmm. I'm struck, like obviously that's just to be a regular kid who just like watches Mr. Beast like every once in a while. Like,
but that's your Charlie.
That's what I mean.
That's your Charlie. But I actually think would be more interesting is not having the Charlie win.
Yeah.
Like I think it's like if you really want to make like your commentary or whatever, you follow the story up to a point, and then you have something for shock value so that it actually like sticks in people's mind.
Mm.
And I think that is probably the best place to put it, right?
Would you then have the Jimmy character win, or would you have the Jimmy character take everything down?
Willy Wonka is the Jimmy character for me.
Sure, yeah.
They're not separate.
Well, no, I'm talking about this like hypothetical like Jimmy like Mr. Beast movie, I guess.
Oh, like Fan Guy? Like would I have Fan Guy win? I don't know.
No. Would you have Fan Guy win?
I don't know. I think maybe because honestly, like that is the way that YouTube works, right? At this point, right now. Because it's been around for I don't think it was always like this. Obviously not. But because it's been around for so long, we do need a Hate Watcher kid.
Yeah.
Because it's been around for so long, it's just like it can all be studied and figured out and mathed out, right? Like at one point, the algorithm became something, I don't know, super formulaic. I don't think it always was.
Mm.
Like I don't think when we were like very young watching YouTube that it was in the same way.
Definitely not to this extent.
It wasn't cracked. Or maybe it just wasn't cracked.
Well, I mean...
Because there's always been YouTubers... Every now and again, you hear a big YouTuber that never talks about the algorithm talk about, like, being a YouTuber, and you're like, oh, shit, this guy has been doing YouTube for, like, 8 years with millions of subscribers. Of course they're deeply knowledgeable about, like, how YouTube works, or something like that. Like, I have that moment, sometimes I watch, like an Alpharad or something.
Mm.
And very rarely he'll talk about like YouTube as a career. Sometimes he does, and it's like, oh, yeah, of course this is like a thing that you studied and known about, and like, oh, you like mentored this guy or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think when we were kids, it was just like different. It was just clickbait. It was like it was similar clickbait, but like
it was like that
thumbnail.
era of like college humor skits.
Yeah,
where they were just putting like boobs in the thumbnail.
Yeah, but I mean, I think honestly, like before the red circle and era, it was just boobs in the thumbnail. That's what got you.
It was, dude. That's the thing with technology, dude. It always just loops back to horny first.
Mm.
Like AI.
Yeah.
VR.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Dude, the VR plug and play experience.
Yeah, I mean, I got my plug and play.
You got your VR plug and play right down there. Yeah.
I've been, gooning.
It's a Civion of sorts.
I've been gooning in the living room. Caleb, my roommate, and Warren, my other roommate, they'd be walking in. They're like, "Oh, God damn it,
George. You didn't have to set up the camera screen too.
You got the cybercock, man. What the fuck, dude? You spent thousands on that." I'm like, oh, I can't help it, man.
It's not my fault.
There's an epidemic going on. I'm in a loneliness epidemic.
I'm gonna cybercom.
I'm gonna cybercom. Awful. That's what the Jimmy Fan character, the main villain. How's it going? That's the Jimmy Fan character, the villain of the movie. That's how he goes out. He cybercomes too hard because
okay, it can't be kids anymore.
No, they're all dead by this point. He's like.
Oh, this is how Wonka does it? Wonka, instead of going into that space elevator to fuck knows where, he cybercomes.
Yeah, he fucks off. He
cybercomes, and instead of uploading his consciousness, he uploads his seed.
Mm-hmm. And then he puts it into like...
He has a baby with an AI.
His cybercuck morphs into a cyber vagina.
No, well, the cyber vagina is a USB port. Right?
Oh, I see.
So he creates a child within a UI, like user interface thing.
Yeah, and it becomes like a real
UI platform.
It becomes like a real The Fly moment, like the end of The Fly, when like he comes out of the machine and he's all like deformed and ugly, and then maybe like the Jimmy Fan character, he just got engaged and his own merged, and his wife is the one who has to like kill him. Maybe she could play a very interesting part in the experience.
Yeah, you have to cut the cyber umbilical cord.
Well, I mean, I think she just...
You have to smother the cyber baby.
I think she just kills it.
Yeah, you have to smother the cyber baby.
She puts a pillow over it and just completely goes to town.
Laughs a little too, actually.
I don't know. I think I would... I think
you would laugh when you kill a baby.
No.
I think you would.
I don't think she would.
Well, now we're talking about you.
That's... I would. No, I mean, I think... In my opinion, there has to be one like morally good character to show that there are...
It's Charlie.
Good people. Yeah, but there has to be someone who like I don't know. I don't know if Charlie's like morally good. He's good, but he doesn't like go and try to do good things. He's just experiencing the things that come from the greed of others.
It's implied that Charlie's good because of the extent he goes to take care of his grandparents.
Yes. No, I'm not saying that he's not good, but I want there to be a character who actively tries to do good. Like Charlie does do good, but like his goal in the movie isn't to do good; it's to experience this crazy wonderland. Yeah. And that's why I think it's important to have a character like that who is affected by the qualms of capitalism and greed. But then it's also important to have a character that actually tries to fight the greed, because I think it's important to inspire hope in this world, even though there isn't much of it. It's important for movies to inspire. To inspire people to do their part, similar to the Dungeons and Dragons campaign that I was in, that was meant to inspire people to go out and do good against climate change. Yep. Even though we feel very like small and that we can't actually like do it, if we lose that hope, then we definitely can't.
Yes,
but if we
there's a very interesting restaurant in the UK. That's doing a pop-up right now called Humbug. And it's called Humbug because that's the name of the cow.
Is there a species of cow called a humbug?
No, the name of the cow, which I'll explain. Okay. So basically, it's a burger pop-up in which they killed one cow, and they're using every part of it instead of just like some parts of it. Yeah. And they're serving burgers with every part of it. And it's lasted like a week. They got hundreds of burgers out of the cow. Because cows are big. Yeah. And a burger is only a few ounces. Yeah. Right? Maybe, let's say they're doing 4-ounce smash burgers or something. So like a smash burger, you would do like 2-ounce patties, smash it down. 2-ounce patties would be 4 ounces. Add your toppings. Fries on the side, shake. You get the whole humbug is the order. I see. It's very expensive. So it's sponsored by this other restaurant that's called, I think it's called like Where the Light Begins or something, which is like a very sustainable, zero waste kind of restaurant. And they're trying to highlight that cows are one of the leading methane exposures, and definitely in the food world, especially in America, we eat a lot of cow. We don't need to be doing that, and it's definitely the most environmentally damaging one. But it's a really cool example of a way that you can interact with something that reminds you like how much you can get out of something versus how much we normally get out of something.
Yes,
and reminds you like the individual impact you can have.
That's really interesting. Did they like? This might be a dumb question, but like, did they use like the bones and whatnot? Like, like the process of making the burgers?
Yeah, I mean, you can't use bones in a burger. I mean, you can use them. I'm sure that they made like stock with them. Like you can cook with bones. You can take out the marrow. And obviously, like the most traditional use of bones is to boil them with other things, and that's how you make like stock for soup. But yeah, I mean, they're using every other part. We're talking brain, liver, like awful things that people are not normally putting in burgers or normally even so comfortable with eating, which is like a more modern, like very first world thing, obviously. And from what I hear, if I lived in the UK, like I would obviously like want to try it and eat it. I'm following them, and I live in the US. Yeah. But the burgers are very good from what I hear. And it's not like they're making them cheap either. Like they're actually very expensive. I think it's $12. €12.
That's not too bad.
It's not bad, but it's not like going to Wendy's.
Yeah.
And I just think it's really cool that they're like doing that kind of thing. They're also that restaurant for their next product. They have 3 installations. I believe this is the second of this like series about waste and zero waste, stuff like that. They're partnering with a chef called Douglas McMaster, which is one of like probably my favorite chef. His famous quote, not a famous quote, famous to me. That's just like human civilization put all the waste in the world, so it's also our responsibility to like take it out.
Yes.
Very cool.
Yeah, I absolutely. I would absolutely say it's based.
But like it's cool in a way. I think it's really cool to see chefs do that because it's such a famously wasteful industry. We use a lot of plastic wrap.
Yeah.
Especially in like fine dining, a lot of like waste goes into things, and you try to mitigate it as much as you can.
But it's just not the way that we're set up. But it is important to be knowledgeable of it at least, so that we can figure out solutions.
Yes. One of the most interesting, maybe one of the very few classes I actually liked when I was at the CIA was the food systems course that I took.
Yeah. Which
just is like a more holistic understanding of what actually goes into the food, starting from even before farm, starting from like seeds. And ending at like the waste cycle and how it impacts the world, the way that it's wasted or the way that it's grown, the way it's planted. There's a lot of like pushes in the world there's a lot of pushes to modify seeds to make more delicious food. And obviously GMOs have been used to create like corn is one of these famous examples of things that have been modified to have more yield. But not necessarily to taste better. So like if you look at corn that people have preserved and like kept the seeds like safe of, and they don't let it like cross pollinate with other things. There's a farm in Mexico that does a really cool job with that.
Yeah.
Their corn cobs are like, they're small. They look small. They're like maybe, I don't know, 4 to 6 inches. If you go to the grocery store, you'll see something more along the lines of 8.
Yeah.
And it's all yellow. But, corn did not start that way. Obviously, it was multicolored for a very long time. Lots of things we can do individually to, like, fund these things. If you have the cash or something, like, you can instead go buy something that's, I don't know, like, not... that you can support a cause. You can go support a cause.
Like I remember after our conversation on, I think it's the clowning episode, we talked about, like, red meat and whatnot, and I remember I was still like buying like red meat here and there, but I recently like really tried to like stop doing that, at least buying it like in my own home. Yeah. Like I've been strictly like keeping to like turkey, like ground turkey. I actually recently made a dish recently. I'm trying to cook something different like once a week. I made butter noodles with like ground sausage, and I like cooked up like, I don't know what it's called when you like put tomatoes and like basil and you like put them in there until they like shrivel up, I guess, and like get really soft. But I like made all that together, and it was like almost like it was as good, if not better, than like what it would have been if it was ground beef, which was like absolutely and like absolutely eye-opening. And I'm like trying to find like I really want to like I've been getting a lot of like food TikToks on like how to like a step-by-step guide on how to make like different dishes, and I'm like I bought potatoes because I want to make like crispy potato bites. Potatoes, and then, like,
potatoes,
salmon bites.
Potatoes are like the best food to eat on a budget as
well.
They're
so versatile.
They're so cheap, and you could do like endless things with potatoes.
Yeah, and like
they're all so delicious.
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't really have like a point that I'm making there. Yeah. Just like knowing what like being knowledgeable of what you can do to like make the world like a safer, more livable place. Yeah. And just like never getting rid of hope, I think is like one of the big things that I'm like trying to instill within myself.
Yeah, it's also hard. It's especially hard like now with our current political climate.
Yes.
It's especially hard to like retain hope. We were like 9 days in at time of recording, and it's rough. Yeah. But, we don't talk about politics on the pod here.
Yes, but we do talk about hope.
We do talk about hope. I like hope. I fuck with it as a concept. I guess. But yeah, I mean, like in my personal life, I it's different because I work in a restaurant, so like I do eat a lot of like red meat, which is by virtue of that. But like in my own home, I eat almost vegetarian. Like I eat almost no meat while I'm in. I guess when I'm out, like almost no expert says that you should never have steak. Nobody's saying that.
No,
they're just saying save it for something very special. And honestly, like for your own personal health, that's probably the move anyways.
Yes.
Like steak is very inherently full of sodium in a way that like other meats aren't, which is, part of the reason why it's so delicious. And it's also very fatty most of the time. But, it's just not like always so good for you. And it's also not like great for the earth. So it's like a little bit, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Ever since, I don't know. That course specifically opened my mind, and I also have started like reading a lot more like food philosophy things and food history that has really started like opening my mind.
That's awesome.
Stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, I've been just buying a whole lot of Feastables and picking up every single one of his what's his fucking toy toxic shaga.
It's something
really dumb.
Something really dumb. And we never got it.
Clearly, I'm not buying, but for the sake of this bit, like I am absolutely loving the capitalism that Mr. Beast is.
Oh, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I like buying my Wonka bars and my Wonka toys.
and watching my Mr. Wonka videos.
My Mr. Wonka videos. And Mr. Wonka games.
Mr. Wonka games. I mean, I'm keeping up.
I have been watching. And let me tell you, I'm starting to enjoy it.
Interesting. I haven't watched the last two.
I'm starting to enjoy it because it's down to an amount of people that I can actually track.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It was like so unenjoyable. I enjoy it as like I'm starting to see that maybe they know what they're doing when they make a show, as opposed to the earlier episodes where I don't feel like they knew what they were doing. We're gonna do an episode on it, so I won't get too deep into it right now.
So to watch the Wonka games.
Watch Wonka. Yeah, watch it, dude. Watch along. Watch Amazon Prime's #1 show for 7 weeks straight.
Yeah, that's an unfair metric. It's releasing weekly. That doesn't speak to the quality of the show. That speaks to the people who feel like they're shackled.
Watch the show with a solid 9% on Rotten Tomato critic score.
Yes,
but like 90% fan score or something.
Really?
Like that. Hold up.
That is actually
solve for me.
That would actually be insane because dude, like the Mario movie had like an 80% like fan score, I'm pretty sure. So to have something like the Beast game, I mean, just like reality TV in general. I mean, I feel like we've sunk 13. So low recently.
Okay, 13 on the tomato meter, which is the critic score. 90% on the popcorn meter, which is the audience score.
That actually makes me sick to my stomach a little bit.
Yeah,
like that actually fills me with such.
I know,
hope.
just a bunch of people suckling on Mr. Beast's beastly rack.
Oh, that's really unfortunate. And you know what else is unfortunate, Forrest? I think it's about time we wrap up this podcast episode.
I think so too. And I know that you guys are really enjoying it.
Yeah.
But we got shit to do.
Yeah, I do have. I have to go to rehearsal in like a good 2 minutes.
Okay. I really don't have anything going on, but we gotta end the episode.
We do gotta end the episode. We jumped around a lot. We know your brain is scrambled, but please comment down below. What would you want a Mr. Beast movie to look look like.
What would you want the obligatory water to taste like?
Yeah, do you want it to taste good?
Would you watch the same type of videos that George has been showing me? Look, leave it all in the comments.
Yes, and if you do want to see them, I do have links.
Yes, and if you want the links, subscribe. If you don't want the links, also maybe subscribe. I don't feel like it's a great incentive, actually.
No, not at all. And you know, if you're on Spotify, God, leave us a rating.
Leave us a rating, but don't talk about some of the things we talked about.
No. You don't need to.
You don't need to.
We talk about it because you don't have to.
We save it. We save it from. So anyways, goodbye, guys.
Bye-bye.